First to breaking news. It's been confirmed 2 Australian teenagers have died in the New Zealand volcano tragedy. 7 Australians have now died and 2 are presumed dead. We have coverage of the latest developments both in New Zealand and here at home. First, let's go to Nine's Ruth Wynne-Williams, who is in New Zealand for us this morning. Ruth, this is absolutely heartbreaking news for their families.
That's right, Lara. The news over here just doesn't seem to be getting any better, does it? We've just had confirmation that teenagers from Sydney, Matthew and Ben Hollander, were among those killed here on White Island. That confirmation has come from their school in Sydney's north, Knox Grammar School. I'll just read to you the statement that they've put out for their school community, who are feeling this very hard. The boys were very much an important part of that school community. They say Matthew was a vibrant member of the class of 2023. He was involved in cadets and representing the school in basketball, squash and debating. He was very heavily involved in sports. Ben was engaged in sports as well and co-curricular activities at Knox, developing a passion for AFL, cadets, CRU, and his biggest passion was basketball. The boys' parents, Martin and Barbara, they are currently unaccounted for. We have seen some action here in Whakatane this morning. We've seen the Defence Force out on the water, the Navy vessel just crawling along the horizon. They're making the 50-kilometre journey out to White Island. I was among those who made that journey yesterday and saw just how volatile and active that volcano is. At levels there are still at high alert today, and there is some frustration in this community for families like the Hollanders in Sydney waiting for news of their loved ones. This is agonising. We are now on day 3. Here's what local man Mark Inman told me about waiting for news about his brother Hayden.
We're frustrated. We're processing the situation, but I'm well connected in the community, so I'm getting information before the police even giving it to me. So I know what's happening. And versus an Australian family that have no connections or no family here, it must be heart-wrenching for them.
Recovery teams are hoping to get over to the island today. They will make every effort, they have said, to get boots on the ground at the volcano today. We'll bring you all the updates, Lara, throughout the morning as the recovery effort gets underway.
Ruth Wynne-Williams in New Zealand for us. Thank you. Now to today's Sydney reporter Gabrielle Boyle, who is outside Concord Hospital, where the first casualties have now been transferred. Gabby, how many victims will be flown back to Australia?
Lara, we understand that the Royal Australian Air Force will fly back a total of 10 Australian victims from this awful incident. We already know that 1 Australian victim is being treated here at Concord Repatriation Hospital. The good news is this is one of Australia's best burns units. This patient is in the best possible care. Doctors and nurses experts in their field. We understand a second patient was flown back to Australia in the early hours of this morning, but it remains unclear exactly what hospital that person will be treated at. We've heard from a number of doctors in New Zealand about just how difficult this operation is to treat all of these patients that have flooded through the doors of hospitals right across New Zealand.
It is likely that more Australians will be transported home by the Australian Defence Force in an intensive care capable aircraft in the next 24 to 48 hours. This is to enable ongoing treatment of these patients closer to home and their family and support networks.
Lara, it's also worth noting that skin banks in Brisbane and Melbourne will assist with the recovery of these patients, both here in Australia and in New Zealand.
All right, Gabby, thank you.